I heard the click before I understood what it meant. My son stood beside my hospital bed, his hand on my oxygen machine, and I watched the green light fade to black. The steady hiss of air went silent. He leaned close, his breath hot against my ear, and whispered the words that should have been my last. "This is your last breath, Dad." My chest tightened as panic flooded through me, but something deeper took over. Survival instinct. I let my eyes roll back. I went completely still, and I waited. The moment I stopped moving, I felt my son's fingers press against my neck, checking for a pulse. My heart hammered so hard I thought he would feel it, but I forced every muscle in my body to relax. I had learned this technique years ago during my time in the Army. Control your breathing, slow your heart, become nothing. "Finally," he muttered. His voice carried relief, not grief. Through my barely opened eyelids, I watched him walk to the door and peek into the hallway. He pulled out his phone. My hearing sharpened the way it does when you are afraid for your life. Every word became crystal clear. "It's done," he said into the phone. "Yeah," he just went. Peacefully. Real peaceful. He laughed. Actually laughed. The old man never saw it coming. "We are set. 3 million, split right down the middle like we agreed. 3 million. My entire estate. 40 years of building a construction company from nothing. 40 years of 16-hour days, bleeding hands, and sacrifice. Diane's meeting me at the house in an hour," he continued. "We will clear out the safe before anyone knows he is gone. The will reading is not for another week. We will be in the Bahamas by then. Diane, my daughter-in-law. The woman I had welcomed into my family 8 years ago. The woman I had helped when she wanted to start her photography business. I had co-signed a $50,000 loan for her. I have got to call the nurse," my son said. "Make it look good." Yeah, I will cry. I have been practicing." Another laugh. "Love you too, babe." He hung up. I heard him take a deep breath, composing himself. Then he pressed the call button. "Nurse! Nurse! Something is wrong with my dad." Footsteps rushed down the hallway. 2 nurses burst into the room. I remained perfectly still. "He just stopped breathing," my son said, his voice cracking with fake emotion. I was holding his hand, and he just went. One nurse checked my vitals while the other ran for the crash cart. But my son stopped her. "Wait," he said. "Don't. He had a DNR. Do not resuscitate. He did not want to be brought back. He told me that just yesterday. He was ready to go." That was a lie. I had no such order. But the nurses would not know that. They would check my charts later, find nothing, but by then it would be too late. "I am so sorry for your loss," the first nurse said softly. "Thank you," my son replied. Can I have a few minutes alone with him? To say goodbye?" The nurses nodded and stepped out. The door closed. I was alone again with my son, with my killer. He walked back to my bedside. For a moment, I thought he might actually feel something. Remorse, guilt, anything human. "Sorry, old man," he whispered, "but you should have retired when you had the chance. That company was supposed to be mine 5 years ago. I am tired of waiting." He patted my shoulder like I was already a corpse, then walked out. The moment the door clicked shut, I opened my eyes fully. My lungs screamed for air. I reached up with shaking hands and turned the oxygen machine back on. The hiss of air returning was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. I gulped it down, my chest heaving. My phone. Where was my phone? I found it on the side table, grabbed it with trembling fingers, and dialed the one number I needed most. "Harold Chen and Associates," the receptionist answered. "This is Robert Hayes," I said, my voice hoarse. "I need to speak with Harold immediately. It is an emergency. 1 moment, please." 30 seconds felt like 30 years. Then Harold's voice came through, steady and professional as always. "Robert? What is going on? Are you all right?" "Harold, I need you to change my will. Right now. Tonight." "Tonight? Robert, what happened?" "My son just tried to kill me. He unplugged my oxygen machine and left me to die. I played dead and heard everything. He is planning to rob my safe with Diane tonight. They think I am gone. Silence. Then, my God. Robert, have you called the police? Not yet. First, I need to protect everything I have built. Can you change the will tonight or not? I am at the office right now, actually, finishing up some paperwork. I can draft an emergency codicil immediately. Who do you want as your primary beneficiary? I thought about my daughter Sarah, my youngest, the one who called me every Sunday without fail, the one who visited me in the hospital every single day, bringing homemade soup and books she thought I would like, the one who had never asked me for a single dollar, even when her husband lost his job and they struggled to pay their mortgage. Everything goes to Sarah, I said. Every penny, every asset, the company, the house, all of it. And Harold, I want you to add a clause. If my son contests this will, he gets nothing. Not 1 cent. Make it ironclad. Consider it done. I will have it ready in 2 hours. Can you sign it tonight? I will find a way. And Harold, I need witnesses. 2 witnesses who are not family. I will bring my paralegal and my secretary. We will come to the hospital. No, my son thinks I am dead. If he sees activity around my room, he will know something is wrong. I will meet you somewhere else. Robert, you just almost died. You should not be leaving the hospital. I will be fine. Text me an address. I will be there in 3 hours. I hung up before he could argue further. My body ached. My head pounded. But rage gave me strength. Pure, burning rage. I disconnected my IV carefully, taped a piece of gauze over the needle mark, and slowly sat up. The room spun for a moment, but I steadied myself. I found my clothes in the small closet by the bathroom. Getting dressed took 10 minutes. Every movement hurt. I peeked out the door. The hallway was clear. The nurses were busy at their station, their backs turned. I slipped out and walked toward the exit stairwell. No one stopped me. No one even looked up. Getting down 4 flights of stairs nearly killed me all over again. By the time I reached the ground floor, sweat poured down my face and my legs shook. But I made it. I walked out into the cool night air and called a taxi. Where to? The driver asked. I gave him Harold's office address. Then I leaned back and closed my eyes, trying to catch my breath. My phone buzzed. A text from my son. Dad passed away tonight. Peacefully. We'll call you tomorrow with details. Love you, sis. He had texted Sarah. My daughter. Lying to her. Making her think I was gone. I wanted to text her back. To tell her I was alive. But I could not. Not yet. I needed to finish this first. Harold's office was in a small building downtown, 3rd floor. The lights were still on when I arrived. He met me at the door, his face pale with concern. Robert, you look terrible. Are you sure you should not be in a hospital? I just escaped from one. Let me sign the papers. He led me to his conference room where 2 women waited. His paralegal, Janet, and his secretary, Mary. Both looked worried but professional. This is highly unusual, Janet said. But given the circumstances, we understand the urgency. Harold laid out the new will on the table. I read through it carefully. Everything was exactly as I had requested. Sarah would inherit everything. My son would get nothing unless he accepted the will without contest. If he fought it, a special clause would trigger, and everything would go to charity instead. This is perfect, I said. I signed my name at the bottom. Janet and Mary signed as witnesses. Harold notarized it with his official seal. Done, Harold said. This supersedes all previous wills. It is legal and binding as of right now. Good. Now I need you to do one more thing. I need you to go to my house tonight. Right now, before my son and Diane get there. Harold frowned. Robert, that could be dangerous. If they are planning to rob your safe, they will not be there for another hour. You have time. I need you to remove certain documents from my safe. Stock certificates, property deeds. The original founding documents for my company. I cannot let them get their hands on those. Everything else can stay. The cash, the jewelry. Let them take it. But not those documents. How will I get into your safe? I gave him the combination. 32, 17, 49. Those were the dates my children were born. Ironic, is it not? Harold wrote it down. I will go right now. Where do you want me to take the documents? Your office safe. Lock them up. I will retrieve them when this is over. He nodded and stood. Janet, Mary, you stay here with Robert. Make sure he does not collapse. Robert, there is a couch in my office. Lie down. Rest. I wanted to argue, but my body betrayed me. The moment Harold left, my legs gave out. Janet caught me and helped me to the couch. I lay down, my breathing shallow. Should we call an ambulance? Mary asked. No ambulance. I just need to rest for a minute. But rest did not come. My mind raced. What would happen when my son discovered I was not in my hospital bed? Would he panic? Would he come looking for me? My phone buzzed again. Another text from my son. Funeral home is picking up Dad's body tomorrow morning. The hospital is preparing him now. I will handle all arrangements. Preparing my body. They thought I was dead in that bed. Then another text came through. This one from a number I did not recognize. Mr. Hayes, this is Nurse Patterson from St. Mary's Hospital. I am sorry to inform you that we cannot locate your father's body. It is not in his room. We are conducting a search of the facility. Please call us immediately. My son would get that message any second now. We have a problem, I said to Janet and Mary. The hospital just realized I am gone. My son will find out. Janet's eyes went wide. What do we do? Nothing. We wait. He will assume I wandered off confused. Patients with pneumonia sometimes get disoriented. He will not suspect I played dead. Not yet. But I was wrong. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. My son's name appeared on the screen. I stared at it, my heart pounding. Should I answer? What would I say? The ringing stopped, then started again, and again. 5 calls in a row. Then a text. Dad, if you are seeing this, call me immediately. The hospital says you are missing. I am worried sick. Worried I had escaped. More like it. Another text. Dad, please. I am coming back to the hospital right now. Where are you? He was panicking. Good. Then my phone rang again, but this time, it was Harold. Robert, we have a major problem. I am at your house. Your son is already here. He is inside, going through your safe right now. He must have left the hospital the moment they told him you were missing. My blood ran cold. How is that possible? You said you had an hour. He must have lied to the nurses. Told them you were already gone so he could leave early. I am parked across the street. I can see him through the window. He has the safe open. He is putting things into a duffel bag. The documents. Did you get them? No. I just arrived. I have not had time. Then go in. Now. Before he takes them. Robert, I am a lawyer, not a police officer. I cannot just. Harold, those documents are worth millions. Without them, I have no proof of ownership for half my assets. I need them. All right. I will try. The phone went quiet. I heard a car door open and close. Footsteps on pavement, then a doorbell ringing. Who is it? My son's voice, muffled but audible. Harold Chen, your father's attorney. I need to speak with you immediately. A pause. Then the door opened. Mr. Chen, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I received word that your father is missing from the hospital. And yet, here you are, going through his belongings. I am not. I am just. Look, I have a key. This is my father's house. I am allowed to be here. With a duffel bag full of his possessions? That looks an awful lot like theft to me. It is not theft. He is my father. When he dies, all this becomes mine anyway. Actually, that is not quite accurate. I have here a new will, signed tonight, that says otherwise. Silence. Long. Heavy silence. "What are you talking about?" my son said finally. His voice had changed. Colder. Harder. "Your father changed his will tonight. Everything now goes to your sister. You get nothing." "That is impossible. He is missing. He is probably confused, wandering around the hospital. He does not even know what day it is. On the contrary, he was perfectly lucid when he signed this document 2 hours ago. Witnessed and notarized." "You are lying. I have the paperwork right here." Another long silence. Then I heard something crash. Glass breaking. "You son of a... You think you can just cut me out? After everything I have done for him? After all the years I spent working at his company, doing his dirty work, cleaning up his messes? Put down the lamp, son. Do not call me that. And do not tell me what to do. Where is he? Where is my father? I have no idea. Now, if you will, please." A scuffle. Grunting. More glass breaking. "Harold!" I shouted into the phone. "Harold, answer me." Nothing. The line went dead. "Oh my God," Mary whispered. "We need to call the police right now." She was right. I dialed 911 with shaking fingers. The police operator answered on the second ring. 911, what is your emergency? My attorney is at my house with my son, and I think my son just attacked him. I heard crashing and fighting, and now the line is dead. What is the address, sir? I gave her my home address. Please hurry. My son is dangerous. He tried to kill me earlier tonight. Sir, can you repeat that? Did you say someone tried to kill you? Yes, my son. He unplugged my oxygen machine at the hospital. I played dead and escaped. Now he is at my house with my lawyer, and I think he just hurt him. Sir, where are you right now? I gave her Harold's office address. Stay there. Officers are being dispatched to both locations. Do not leave. Do not try to go to your house. I understand. The operator stayed on the line with me for another 3 minutes until a patrol car pulled up outside Harold's office. 2 officers came upstairs. A young woman with sharp eyes and an older man with gray at his temples. Mr. Hayes? The woman asked. I am Officer Ramirez. This is Officer Daniels. Can you tell us exactly what happened tonight? I told them everything. The hospital, the oxygen machine, playing dead, overhearing the plan, calling Harold, changing the will, my son showing up at the house. I showed them the text messages. I played them the voicemail my son had left. The one where he cried fake tears and said I had passed peacefully. Officer Ramirez took notes while Daniels made calls on his radio. Units are at your residence now, Daniels said. They found your attorney on the floor. He is conscious but injured. Possible concussion. Paramedics are with him. Your son is in custody. Relief flooded through me. Is Harold going to be all right? Looks like it. He is lucky. Seems your son hit him with a lamp, but he did not keep hitting. Your attorney will have a nasty bump and maybe some stitches, but he should recover. And my son? Being transported to the station. We will need you to come down and give a full statement. Can I see him first? My son? Ramirez exchanged a glance with Daniels. That is probably not a good idea, sir. Things are pretty heated right now. I do not care. I want to see him. I want to look him in the eye. They hesitated, then Daniels nodded. All right, but you will not be in the same room. We can set you up in an observation area where you can see him through one-way glass. That works. They drove me to the police station. Janet and Mary came along to give their statements as witnesses to the will signing. The station was bright and cold. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Everything smelled like burnt coffee and disinfectant. They led me to a small room with a large window. On the other side of the glass, my son sat in an interrogation room, handcuffed to a metal table. His face was red. His eyes were wild. A detective sat across from him. Middle-aged, balding, with a wedding ring and tired eyes. He had a folder open in front of him. Let me get this straight, the detective said. You are claiming your father fell and accidentally unplugged his own oxygen machine? Yes. I was in the bathroom. When I came out, the machine was off, and he was not breathing. I panicked. I did not know what to do. So you called the nurses. Yes, eventually. I froze at first. It was traumatic. But the nurses say, you told them he had a DNR order, a do not resuscitate. You told them not to try to revive him. I misunderstood. I thought he had signed one. He had talked about it. Had he? I do not know. Maybe not. I was confused. And then you left the hospital while they were preparing his body. Where did you go? Home. I needed to get some things ready for the funeral. What things? Paperwork. Photos. I wanted to put together a memory board. So you opened his safe and started putting cash and jewelry into a duffel bag? For a memory board? My son's jaw clenched. I was not stealing anything. Those are family heirlooms. I was protecting them. Protecting them from who? From my sister. She never cared about Dad. She will sell everything the moment she gets her hands on it. Interesting. Because your father's attorney says you did not know about the new will yet when you were filling that bag. So, how would you have known your sister was inheriting anything? My son went quiet. His leg bounced under the table. Let me tell you what I think happened, the detective continued. I think you went to that hospital tonight planning to kill your father. I think you unplugged that oxygen machine on purpose. I think you thought you got away with it. And then, when you found out he was missing, you panicked. You went to his house to take everything you could before anyone realized what you had done. And when his lawyer showed up and confronted you, you assaulted him. That is not what happened. Then what did happen? I want a lawyer. The detective smiled. Smart choice. He stood and walked out of the room, leaving my son alone. My son put his head in his hands. His shoulders shook. For a moment I thought he might actually be crying, feeling remorse. Then I heard it. Laughter. Quiet at first, then building. He was laughing. Officer Ramirez, standing next to me, frowned. What is so funny? We watched as my son lifted his head. He looked directly at the one-way mirror, like he could see me standing on the other side. You think you won, old man? He said to his own reflection. You think this is over? You have no idea what I have planned. A chill ran down my spine. What is he talking about? Ramirez asked. I do not know, I said. But that was a lie. I knew exactly what he meant. This was not over, not by a long shot. The detective came back into the room. He had a phone in his hand. Interesting development, he said to my son. We just got a call from Street Mary's hospital. Apparently, they did a full check of their security footage from tonight. And guess what we found? Your father's oxygen machine was not the only thing unplugged tonight. My son's face went pale. Seems like someone also tampered with the IV medication feed for the patient in the room next to your father's. An elderly woman named Margaret Foster, 82 years old. She coded tonight at almost the exact same time as your father's incident. She did not make it. No. Her family is devastated, the detective continued. But here is the thing. We pulled the footage, and we can see someone entering her room around 7:45 p.m., someone wearing a blue jacket. The same blue jacket you are wearing right now. My son's hands started shaking. I did not. I was not. You cannot prove anything. We have you on camera. That could be anyone in a blue jacket. With your build, your height, your gait. Come on, son. We can prove it was you. The question is why? Why did you kill Margaret Foster? I did not kill anyone. Then help me understand. What were you doing in her room? I was not in her room. I have never seen that woman in my life. The detective leaned back in his chair. You know what I think? I think Margaret Foster was a dry run. I think you wanted to practice unplugging someone before you did it to your father. I think you needed to make sure you could go through with it. And I think you picked a random elderly patient to test it on. That is insane. Is it? Because the evidence says otherwise. And now, we are not just looking at attempted murder of your father. We are looking at actual murder. First degree, premeditated. You could be facing life in prison. Or, worse. My son stood up so fast his chair fell backward. I want my lawyer. Now. I am not saying another word without my lawyer. Sit down, the detective said calmly. You are not going anywhere." But my son did not sit down. He started pacing, his handcuffs rattling against the table. "This is a setup," he said. "Someone is framing me. My father. He planned this whole thing. He is trying to make me look guilty. Your father is the victim here." "No. No. You do not understand. He is manipulative. He has always been manipulative. He probably paid that woman's family to lie. He probably edited the security footage himself. He has connections. Money. He could do anything." The detective stood. "I think we are done here. Sit down and wait for your lawyer." He left the room again. My son collapsed back into his chair, his head in his hands. Officer Ramirez turned to me. "Did you know about the woman in the next room? Margaret Foster?" "No," I whispered. I had no idea. But the truth was worse than that. The truth was that my son had not just tried to kill me. He had succeeded in killing someone else, an innocent woman, someone's grandmother, and he had done it as practice. What kind of monster had I raised? 3 days passed. 3 days of police interviews, legal meetings, and security footage reviews. Harold recovered from his concussion and went back to work. The police built their case against my son. Attempted murder of me. Assault on Harold. And now, murder of Margaret Foster. The evidence was overwhelming. The security footage showed him entering her room, tampering with her IV, leaving 90 seconds before her alarms went off. The medical examiner confirmed that her death was caused by an overdose of potassium chloride, injected directly into her IV line. Not just unplugged equipment, actual murder. I thought he would stay in jail. I thought the judge would deny bail for someone accused of murdering an elderly woman. I was wrong. His lawyer, an expensive defense attorney named Marcus Webb, argued that my son was a pillar of the community. No prior criminal record. Successful businessman. Strong family ties. A loving father to 2 children. The charges were based on circumstantial evidence and a grainy security video that could not definitively prove identity. The judge set bail at $2 million. Diane posted it. She used the money from their joint accounts. Money that had come from my construction company over the years. Bonuses I had given my son. Profit sharing. He had saved every penny, and now he used it to buy his freedom. I found out about his release from a phone call from Detective Morrison, the lead investigator. "Mr. Hayes, I wanted to give you a heads up. Your son made bail this morning. He is out." My blood turned to ice. How is that possible? His lawyer made a compelling argument. And technically, the evidence against him, while strong, is not ironclad yet. We are still building the case. But I want you to be careful. He is not allowed to contact you per the restraining order, but that does not always stop people. Where is he now? We are monitoring him. He has an ankle bracelet. GPS tracking. But Mr. Hayes, you should consider staying somewhere else for a while. Somewhere he would not think to look. This is my home. I understand. But your safety, I will be fine. I have a security system, and I am not running from my own son. All right. But please keep your phone on you at all times, and if you see him anywhere near you, call 911 immediately. I hung up and looked around my house. It felt different now, violated. He had been in here, going through my things, planning to rob me. I changed the locks that afternoon. All of them. I upgraded my security system, added cameras at every entrance, motion sensors in the yard. That night, I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. Every creak of the house settling made my heart race. At 2:30 in the morning, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You think you are safe? You think locks and cameras will stop me? I know that house better than you do, old man. I grew up there. I know every weak point, every way in. You should have let me have what I deserved." I called Detective Morrison immediately. "That is a violation of the restraining order," he said. "We will trace the number. It was probably a burner phone, but we will try." What do I do? Do you have somewhere else you can go? A friend's house? A hotel? I thought about calling Sarah, but I had not spoken to her yet. She still thought I was dead, The police had asked me not to contact her until they finished their investigation. They did not want any accusations that I was influencing witnesses or tampering with evidence. "I will go to a hotel," I said. I threw some clothes in a bag and drove to a Holiday Inn 15 miles away. I checked in under a fake name, paid cash, turned off my cell phone. But at 4 in the morning, the hotel's front desk called my room. "Mr. Smith? There is someone here to see you. He says he is your son." My heart stopped. "Tell him I am not here. Tell him you made a mistake. He is very insistent. He says it is a family emergency. Call the police, now. Tell them Robert Hayes is at your hotel and his son is here in violation of a restraining order." "Right away, sir." I heard shouting through the phone, glass breaking. Then the line went dead. I grabbed my bag and ran to the door, locked it, pushed the desk in front of it, looked around for any kind of weapon, found nothing but a lamp and the television remote. Footsteps in the hallway, running, getting closer. "Dad!" My son's voice loud and angry. "I know you are in here. Come out and talk to me like a man." He started pounding on doors, one after another, getting closer to my room. "Dad! You cannot hide forever. We need to settle this. You owe me. I worked for you for 15 years. 15 years of my life, and you are just going to give it all to Sarah? She did nothing. Nothing." The pounding reached my door. The handle rattled. "I know you are in there. I can smell your fear, old man. Open this door." "The police are on their way," I shouted back. "Leave now, and maybe they will go easy on you." He laughed. That same cold laugh from the police station. "You think I care about the police? You think I care about anything anymore? You took everything from me. My inheritance, my future, my life. You ruined me. You ruined yourself. You tried to kill me. You murdered an innocent woman. She was nobody. Just some old woman who was going to die anyway. I did her a favor. I did everyone a favor." Sirens in the distance, getting louder. "You hear that?" I said. "That is your future, prison, for the rest of your life. If I am going down, you are coming with me." Something crashed against the door. Heavy, metal. He had found a fire extinguisher or something similar. He was trying to break through. The desk I had pushed against the door started to slide. The wood cracked. I backed into the bathroom. Locked that door too. Looked around for an escape route. The window was too small. I was trapped. Another crash. The main door splintered. I could see his hand reaching through, trying to unlock the deadbolt. The sirens were right outside now. Car doors slamming. Voices shouting. "Police! Put your hands up." My son ignored them. He kept hitting the door. One more strike and he would be through. "Last warning. Step away from the door." I heard scuffling. Shouting. My son screaming obscenities. Then silence. A knock on my bathroom door. "Mr. Hayes? This is Officer Ramirez. You are safe now. He is in custody." I opened the door with shaking hands. Ramirez stood there with 3 other officers. My son was on the floor in the hallway, face down, hands cuffed behind his back. Blood ran from his nose where they had tackled him. "You all right?" Ramirez asked. I nodded. But I was not all right. Nothing about this was all right. They arrested him again. This time, Marcus Webb could not get him out. The judge revoked bail. My son was remanded to custody pending trial. No more chances. But the damage was done. I knew now that he would never stop. Even from prison, he would find a way to hurt me. To destroy everything I had built. And I was right. 2 weeks after my son's second arrest, my construction company started falling apart. Contracts were canceled. Suppliers refused to deliver materials. Our biggest client, Henderson Development, pulled a $12 million project with no explanation. I went into the office for the first time since the hospital. My team looked shell-shocked. My project manager, Tom Bradley, met me in my office with a thick folder of bad news. "Robert, we need to talk," Tom said. "Something is going on. Something big. Tell me." Henderson pulled their contract because someone sent them documents claiming we used substandard materials on the Riverside project last year. Documents with your signature on them, authorizing the use of cheaper concrete than what was specified in the contract. That is impossible. I never signed any such thing. I know, but the documents look real. Henderson's legal team is threatening a lawsuit. They are claiming we defrauded them out of $800,000. Let me see them. He handed me copies. I studied them carefully. The signatures looked like mine. The letterhead was correct. The dates were accurate. But I had never seen these documents before in my life. These are forgeries, I said. Very good forgeries, but forgeries nonetheless. That is what I told Henderson. But they do not believe me. And it gets worse. Miller Supply, our concrete supplier for the past 20 years, got similar documents. One's claiming we never paid them for 3 shipments last year. $50,000 worth. They are demanding payment immediately, or they will not deliver anything else. We paid those invoices. I have the canceled checks. I know. I pulled the records. But someone also sent Miller's accounting department fake documents showing those checks bounced. And now their lawyers are involved. A horrible realization dawned on me. My son did this. Tom nodded grimly. That is what we all think. He had access to everything. Your signatures, your files, the company records. He could have been creating these fake documents for months, just waiting for the right moment to use them. But he is in jail. He has a lawyer, and a wife, and friends. He could have given them instructions, told them where to find the files, how to send them. I slumped in my chair. How bad is it? Without Henderson, and without Miller, we cannot complete our current projects. We will default on at least 4 contracts. The penalties alone will bankrupt us. And once word gets out that we are in trouble, every other client will start looking for reasons to pull out too. It will be a domino effect. What about our lawyers? Can they fix this? They are trying. But it takes time. Months maybe. And we do not have months. We have weeks at best. I looked around my office. Photos on the walls of buildings I had constructed. Schools, hospitals, churches. 40 years of work. And my son was destroying it all from a jail cell. There has to be something we can do, I said. Tom hesitated. There might be one option, but you are not going to like it. Tell me. Diane called me yesterday. She wants to meet. She says she has information that could help us. Documents that prove your son was acting alone. That you had nothing to do with any substandard materials or unpaid invoices. Why would she help me? She is married to him. I do not know, but she sounded desperate. She said to tell you that she wants to make things right. That she never wanted any of this. Where does she want to meet? Neutral ground. The coffee shop on 5th Street. Tomorrow at noon. Every instinct told me it was a trap. But what choice did I have? My company was dying. If Diane really had evidence that could clear my name, I had to at least hear her out. Tell her I will be there, I said. The next day, I arrived at the coffee shop 30 minutes early. I sat in a corner booth with a clear view of the entrance. I ordered black coffee and waited. Diane walked in at exactly noon. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, her hair unwashed and pulled back in a messy ponytail. She had lost weight. Her clothes hung loose on her frame. She saw me and walked over slowly, like she was approaching a dangerous animal. Thank you for meeting me, she said quietly. You have 2 minutes. Talk. She sat down and pulled a manila envelope from her purse, slid it across the table to me. Everything is in here. The real contracts, the real invoices, proof that your son forged those documents. I have his laptop. He kept everything on it, every fake signature, every altered file. I made copies before his lawyer could destroy them. I opened the envelope. Dozens of files, scanned documents, screenshots, email chains. It was all there. Why are you giving this to me? I asked. Her eyes filled with tears. Because I loved him. I really did. But what he did to you, what he did to that woman in the hospital, I cannot be part of that. I have 2 children. I cannot let them grow up thinking this is okay. That murder and theft are acceptable if you are angry enough. You were part of the plan. You were going to take the money from my safe. I know. And I will live with that guilt forever. But I never wanted anyone to hurt. I thought. I thought he was just going to wait for you to die naturally. I did not know he would try to speed things up, and I definitely did not know about Margaret Foster until the police told me. You could have stopped him. I should have. You are right. And I will have to answer for that. But I am trying to make it right now. Those documents will save your company. And they will put him away for a long time. I studied her face. She looked sincere. Broken, but sincere. What do you want in return? I asked. Nothing. I do not want anything from you. I just want my kids to have a chance at a normal life. Away from all this. You are divorcing him. The papers are already filed. I am taking the kids and moving back to Oregon to be near my parents. We leave next week. I closed the envelope. If this is a trick, it is not, I promise. Check the files. Give them to your lawyers. They will verify everything. She stood to leave, then paused. For what it is worth, I am sorry. I know that does not mean much coming from me, but I am. You did not deserve any of this. You were always good to me, better than my own father ever was. I should have protected you instead of helping him. She walked out before I could respond. I sat there for another 10 minutes, staring at the envelope. Then I called Tom. I have what we need, I said. Get the lawyers ready. We are going to war. The documents Diane provided were genuine. Our lawyers verified every file. Within 48 hours, we had sent evidence packages to Henderson Development, Miller Supply, and every other client who had received forged documents. Henderson apologized and reinstated our contract. Miller agreed to resume deliveries. The lawsuits were dropped. But my son was not finished. On a Thursday morning, I received a call from Sarah, my daughter. The first time we had spoken since I had died. Dad? Her voice shook. Dad, is it really you? It is me, sweetheart. The police told me everything. About him. About what he tried to do. Oh my God, Dad, I thought you were dead. I planned your funeral. I gave a eulogy at the memorial service. And you were alive the whole time. I am so sorry. The police asked me not to contact anyone until... I know, they explained. But Dad, we have a problem. A big one. My stomach dropped. What happened? He sent me a letter. From jail. It arrived this morning. Dad, he knows where I live. He knows about the new will, and he is threatening me. What did the letter say? He said that if I accept the inheritance, something bad will happen to my kids, to Emma and Jack. He said he has friends on the outside who owe him favors, people who could make it look like an accident. Rage flooded through me. He is threatening your children? His own niece and nephew? There is more. He said that if I reject the inheritance and sign everything back over to him, he will leave us alone. He will plead guilty to the charges against you and Margaret Foster. He will take responsibility for everything, but only if I give him what he wants. You cannot do that. Dad, he is talking about my babies. Emma is only 8 years old. Jack is 6. What if he is serious? What if something happens to them? Nothing is going to happen to them. He is bluffing. How do you know? I did not know. That was the truth. I had no idea what my son was capable of anymore. I had thought I knew him, thought I had raised him right. But the man in that jail cell was a stranger to me. Let me handle this, I said. Do not respond to the letter. Do not sign anything. I will take care of it. How? I will visit him, face to face. End this once and for all. Dad, that is not safe. What if he? I will be fine. There will be guards, cameras. He cannot hurt me in a prison visiting room. But I was wrong about that too. 2 days later, I sat in the visiting room at the county jail. The room was cold and gray. Metal tables bolted to the floor. Plastic chairs. A guard stood in the corner, arms crossed, watching everyone. My son was brought in wearing an orange jumpsuit, handcuffs, leg shackles. He looked thinner. His hair was longer, but his eyes were the same, cold, calculating. He sat down across from me and smiled. Hello, Dad. Good to see you are still breathing. Leave Sarah alone. Leave her children alone. Whatever sick game you are playing, it ends now. Game? You think this is a game? You destroyed my life. I am just returning the favor. I gave you everything. A job, a future, a place in my company. And you threw it away because you were too impatient to wait. Wait for what? For you to die of old age? You are 73 years old, and you are healthier than men half your age. You could live another 20 years. I did not have 20 years to waste, so you decided to kill me. I decided to speed up the inevitable. And I would have succeeded if you had not played dead like a coward. Coward? You tried to murder me in my sleep. You killed an innocent woman. You are the coward. He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. Do you want to know the truth about Margaret Foster? I did not kill her as practice. I killed her because she reminded me of your mother. Same wrinkled face, same weak smile, same pathetic gratitude when I pretended to care. I wanted to see what it would feel like, to take a life. And you know what? It felt good. My hands clenched into fists. You are a monster. I am your son. I learned from the best. I never taught you to be a killer. No. You taught me to be ruthless, to take what I want, to crush the competition. You ran your business like a tyrant for 40 years. You bulldozed anyone who got in your way. And now you act surprised when I do the same thing? That was business. This is murder. What is the difference? You destroyed families when you bought out their companies. You put people out of work when you undercut their bids. You did whatever it took to win. I am doing the same thing. I never killed anyone. Morally, what is the difference? You took away their livelihoods, their dignity, their futures. At least I was honest about it. I stood up. We are done here. No, we are not. Sit down, old man. We are not finished. I have nothing more to say to you. Then listen, because here is what is going to happen. You are going to convince Sarah to sign over the inheritance. All of it, to me. And in exchange, I will plead guilty. Take my punishment. Go to prison for the rest of my life if I have to. And if she does not, then I make one phone call, one text message, and her kids disappear. Maybe they get taken from school. Maybe they vanish from their own backyard. Maybe they are never seen again. You are bluffing. Am I? Want to test that theory? The guard moved closer. Everything all right here? We are fine, my son said smoothly. Just having a family discussion. The guard backed away but kept watching. I sat back down slowly. Even if Sarah signs everything over, what makes you think I will let you keep it? I will just change the will again after you go to prison. Then the threat stands. Forever. For the rest of your life and hers. Every birthday party, every school play, every family vacation. She will wonder if today is the day something happens. That is no way to live. But if you give me what I want, I give you my word. I will leave her alone. Your word means nothing. It is all you have got. I stared at him, this person I had created, this monster wearing my son's face, and I realized something. He was right about one thing. I had taught him to be ruthless. I had modeled that behavior his entire life. And now it had come back to haunt me. But he was wrong about something else. He thought I would sacrifice everything to protect Sarah and her children. He thought he had me cornered. He did not know that I had one more card to play. All right, I said quietly. You win. I will talk to Sarah. She will sign over the inheritance. His eyes lit up. You are making the right choice. But I have one condition. You leave Diane and the kids alone too. They get to start over. Clean slate. Fine. I do not care about them anyway. And you plead guilty. No trial. No appeals. You accept whatever sentence they give you. Done. We shook hands. His grip was cold. I walked out of that visiting room knowing I had just lied to my son's face. But I had learned something important. He had friends on the outside. People who owed him favors. People who could hurt my family. I needed to find them before they found Sarah. I did not go to Sarah. I went to the FBI. Detective Morrison had told me that my son's case might involve interstate crimes. The forged documents had been sent to companies in 3 different states. That made it federal. And federal agents have resources that local police do not. Agent Victoria Cross met me at her office in the federal building downtown. She was in her 40s, with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. "Mr. Hayes, Detective Morrison briefed me on your case. How can I help you?" I told her about the letter to Sarah, the threats against her children, my son's claims about having friends on the outside. "We need to find these people," I said, "before they act." "We are already on it," Agent Cross said. "The moment your son sent that letter, he committed felony witness intimidation. That gave us authority to monitor all his communications, phone calls, mail, visitors, everything. And he has been in contact with 3 individuals. One is a former employee of yours, guy named Rick Patterson. You fired him 2 years ago for stealing tools from a job site." I remembered Rick, angry, bitter. He had threatened to sue me for wrongful termination. The second is a man named Leo Marchetti, small-time criminal, burglary, fraud. He did 18 months in county jail 3 years ago. Your son met him through a mutual acquaintance. And the third? Your son's college roommate, Tyler Brennan, lawyer, clean record. But he has been visiting your son regularly and passing messages. What kind of messages? We are not sure yet. But we have warrants to search all 3 men's homes and offices. We are executing them today. If there is a plan to harm your daughter or her children, we will find it. Thank you. Mr. Hayes, I need to ask you something. Your son mentioned you would convince your daughter to sign over her inheritance. Were you serious about that? No. I lied to him. I wanted him to think he won so he would get careless. Start communicating with his people. Give you something to work with. She smiled. Smart. Very smart. But you should know, your son is likely monitoring your movements too. If you do not follow through, if Sarah does not start the paperwork to transfer the inheritance, he will know you lied, and he might accelerate his plans. Then we need to move fast. We are. Give us 72 hours. We will have all 3 men in custody by then. Once they are arrested, your son will have no way to carry out his threats. 3 days felt like 3 years. I stayed with Sarah and her family. I did not tell her about my visit with her brother or about the FBI investigation. I just said I wanted to spend time with my grandchildren. Emma and Jack were beautiful, smart, full of life. They called me Grandpa and showed me their toys and their drawings and their favorite books. They had no idea that someone wanted to hurt them, no idea of the darkness that existed in the world. On the 3rd day, Agent Cross called. We got them. All 3. Rick Patterson had detailed plans in his apartment, maps of your daughter's neighborhood, photos of the kids' school, a timeline for the abduction. We caught him 2 hours before he was supposed to move. Relief washed over me. And the others? Leo Marchetti was the muscle. He was going to help with the actual kidnapping. Tyler Brennan was handling the legal side, setting up offshore accounts where your son could hide money if Sarah did sign over the inheritance. They are all in custody. Federal charges, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, wire fraud, witness tampering. And my son? He is being transferred to federal custody. With these new charges added to the attempted murder and the Margaret Foster case, he is looking at life without parole, maybe even the death penalty, depending on what the prosecutor decides. I sat down heavily. It was over. Finally over. Thank you, I said. You saved my family. You saved your family, Mr. Hayes. You were smart enough to set the trap. We just helped you spring it. 2 months later, my son pleaded guilty to all charges. No trial. His lawyer advised him that the evidence was overwhelming. Life in prison was better than the death penalty. Sarah inherited everything, just as I had planned. The company, the house, all of it. She sold the construction business to Tom Bradley for a fair price. He had earned it after holding things together during the crisis. She kept the house, though. She said her kids deserved to grow up somewhere with good memories, somewhere their grandfather could visit them every Sunday for dinner. Diane and her children moved to Oregon. She sent me a Christmas card that first year. Said the kids were doing well. Adjusting. They did not ask about their father much anymore. I never visited my son in prison. People asked me why. Said I should forgive him, that he was still my child. But some betrayals are too deep to forgive. Some wounds never heal. I learned something through all of this. I learned that the values you teach your children matter less than the values you model. I had told my son to be honest, to be kind, to work hard. But I had shown him something else. I had shown him that winning was all that mattered, that crushing your competition was success. He had learned that lesson too well. Now, at 73 years old, I am trying to do better with my grandchildren. I teach them about compassion, about sacrifice, about putting family first, always. Not money, not success. Family. Emma told me last week that she wants to be a nurse when she grows up. She wants to help people who are sick. I told her that was the most beautiful dream I had ever heard. Jack wants to be a teacher. He says kids need good teachers who care about them. I told him the world needs more people like him. They give me hope. Hope that I can break the cycle. Hope that my mistakes will die with my generation instead of poisoning the next. Every night before I go to sleep, I think about Margaret Foster, the woman my son killed. I never knew her, but I learned about her from her family. She was a grandmother too. She loved gardening and mystery novels. She volunteered at a food bank every Thursday. She did not deserve to die. And nothing I do will ever bring her back. But I can honor her memory by being better, by teaching Emma and Jack to be better, by making sure that the evil my son unleashed into the world does not spread any further. That is my mission now, my purpose, and I will spend every remaining day of my life fulfilling it. So let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about it. What are you teaching the people you love? Not with your words, but with your actions, because our children are watching, always watching, and they will become what we show them, not what we tell them. If this story touched you, if it made you think about your own relationships and your own choices, I would appreciate it if you would leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts. Share your own experiences. Let us learn from each other. And if you found value in this story, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future stories. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. These stories matter. Your engagement helps them reach more people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I hope you carry this lesson with you. The greatest inheritance you can leave behind is not money or property. It is the values you instill in the people who come after you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And remember, it is never too late to start doing better.